Hey everybody, what is up? It's your good friends Brian McGill and Corey Camp here for another What's Up Wednesday show. Corey, how you doing over there?
I'm good. All I've been thinking about is because I've taken a few days off. We had spring break last week, and we're back in remote learning this week. But I took off yesterday, and we're pre-recording this episode. It's actually Tuesday, but everybody's watching this on Wednesday, not Monday, April Fool's Day. But I've been thinking, has Brian cut his hair yet? How come I haven't got an updated picture? So I think you haven't, right?
The people have spoken and they want me to grow a mullet. They want me to mullet it up.
You don't have to grow the mullet. You just need to shape the hair that you have into a mullet, Brian. Don't you know this?
I don't know.
Let's do another poll. We'll do another poll today.
Okay, please, let's do another poll.
And are you going to like number one vote is how you're gonna do it? Is this what's gonna happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody, like, this is.
You got another 30 days to grow it out. You're good, right?
This is right. Yeah. We're gonna run this poll though for the next 7 days. All right. So we'll. You're gonna have 7 days to answer this poll. Go like Sibme. Go to the poll. The options are: have your roommate cut your hair, grow a mullet. Now, Corey, you give two other options.
I think definitely the bowl cut. I mean, you gotta bring back the bowl cut. Gotta happen. I think you could pull it off. Now you got a little curl to your hair, so yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe our guest today can give us one other hairstyle option for your haircut.
One throw in from our wonderful guest today from the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Region 12. Corey, do you want to introduce today's special guests?
Well, I do, but yeah, I do. Yeah, we were gonna talk about something else before we introduce them, but let's just go ahead and introduce them because they're super fun. This is only half of the team. Everybody's really busy right now, and so we got half of the team with us. This is our team from Region 12, the Education Service Center. So where I worked before, I was with the Sibme team, was at ESC Region 12. I was part of the Special Education Services Department before moving my last year and a half to the Digital Innovation team. And so I'm excited to have the Region 12 Dig In team with us today. We've got Andy with us and Jessica. Welcome, ladies.
Hey. We're
here. Well, welcome to the party, Region 12. It's been a lot of fun working with you all through the days. I remember when we first kicked you guys off several years ago now. Yeah. So how's the weather down in Texas today?
It's good. You can see the sun shining through Andy's window.
Andy's probably got the best office.
He's got a pretty good one.
Of all the meetings that I've had, Andy's got like the most like vitamin D coming in.
It was beautiful today for sure.
Yeah. It is cold and cloudy here. That's what I get for leaving Texas. But yeah, I'm a little cold. But other than that, ladies, I just have to ask before we talk about, I'm going to give you a few more moments to think about this hairstyle that Brian should go for. But, everybody's talking about it. Jessica, I think you jumped on this bandwagon. Have we watched it yet?
Yeah.
Tiger Kings?
all the way through.
Yeah,
I haven't. Brian, you have all the way through. I haven't had a chance to yet. I'm catching up on all my Office episodes. I'd started kind of watching the reruns all the way through, and so I'm catching that up with that. My husband's not a big fan of that. I mean, I don't know how we're even still together. He's not a fan of The Office, but I watch that on my like alone time, like when the kids are in bed and my husband's like in the shower, or if he's sleeping in and I'm up super early, I'll watch The Office. But Tiger Kings is next on my list. I don't know.
There was a shout out to Waco in the first 20 minutes. So yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I don't care what they say. Carol Baskin definitely fed her husband to her tigers. I don't care. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care what the detectives say. She absolutely fed that. Absolutely, Jessica. Do you agree?
Yeah. Totally.
Absolutely did. The court of public opinion, Carol, you're guilty. Okay.
That's hilarious. One of probably our mutual friends from down there in Waco on Facebook this morning was like, I don't know why my wife suddenly needs so much sardine oil during this quarantine. Now, Andy, I know if you haven't seen Tiger Kings, are you living up the Hallmark Christmas movies, Christmas, early Christmas marathon that they're doing? Andy's a big Hallmark movie fan. So,
I'm absolutely hallmarking it up right now. So, I mean, it had to happen. My family's not too happy about it. They're always like, "This is so predictable." I'm like, "It's different people," but
that's right. Yeah, different locations. I mean, yeah. I can get sucked into
always
it too.
the same storyline, but it's good. It's so good. So yes, definitely, lots of Hallmark happening right now.
I love it. Okay. So before we dive into our episode for today, what are you thinking for Brian's hair? Any recommendations? What are we going to challenge up there for him?
I think he's due for color.
Oh, some at-home coloring.
You watch too much Tiger King, Jessica. This is absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I like it. It's going on the poll. You just have to live with it, Brian. So you can always wear
Jessica, which color? Because then that's going to be the major question. Are we going blonde or
so
what?
I'm thinking more of a homemade Kool-Aid style color.
Ooh, yeah.
Like
Dennis,
like you want a Dennis Rodman me? Like
right there.
Oh my gosh, please guys, be nice. Be nice.
Don't be.
Real interesting.
I feel like the tables have turned. Like
Yes.
now I'm
so good. So good. Okay, well,
way too long.
It's going to be awesome. Today we're talking with you guys. I asked you and your team to join us to talk a little bit about just something that everybody's reaching for right now, which is how in the heck do we do this remote learning thing? Whether we're parents or educators or both or administrators, how are we doing this? And you and your team has been doing a lot. I've been keeping up with you guys on social media, all the stuff that you've been putting out. Josh, who's not on the call today, has put out some really great Zoom tip sheets, and I think everyone's really contributed a ton from these kind of tip sheets to the webinars that you've been doing and all your social media videos that you've been doing. So really just talking about facilitating remote learning, not even really related to SIBME, but I'm sure video is some component of this. So let's jump right into the questions. Brian, do you want to go ahead with the first one?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how our districts in your area meeting, your students' needs during this time.
Okay, so I'll start, and then Jessica can jump in. I think right now everyone is doing what makes sense for them and their learners right now. So considering what makes sense for the educators that they have and what makes sense for their learners as well. Being school districts being in so many different places, some being one-to-one, some being blended, others being where there just isn't a lot of access to technology. Right now, that looks very different for everyone as we kind of venture into these uncharted waters. So I would say right now it's very much a what makes sense for them and their district is kind of what they're doing moving forward. I know Jessica has given several shout outs on the webinars that we've done and the Facebook Live. So Jessica, if you want to share some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a couple of things that we've seen that are pretty phenomenal. So my kiddos are a product of Waco ISD, and they did a really phenomenal job when it came to determining what students have and what's available at their home. So they did a technology survey that they sent out. They're also doing a really phenomenal job. Their counselors set up their own Google Classrooms where students could reach out. So really looking at social emotional needs as well as academics. So the focus has been very balanced. Everything that we received thus far focused on reviewing big concepts and not necessarily teaching new content. So that was really good to see as well. I know some of our rural districts, they're doing much similar things. I've heard from teachers at Blooming Grove and teachers, at Wortham, and they're doing a lot of review of content, really trying to help kids focus on what they've already learned and how they can use that and apply that in this particular situation. So that's been great to see.
Yeah, and kind of speaking to that, that was one of our questions. What's going well? What silver lining do you see in that? I know, because I'm still connected to a lot of individuals in Region 12, having been there for so long before moving to Ohio. You guys are doing lots of like teacher parades and different things. So, maintaining social distancing, but kids can still see the educators who have been just such a big part of their lives, and teachers can see their students, which I think has been really meaningful for everybody. So those things have been really cool to see happening online. Anything else, any other silver lining that you see through all of this remote learning and quarantining business?
I think seeing districts really step up their use of their LMS, whatever that learning management system is, and being innovative and seeing tools that may not have been seen as a learning management system, aka Flipgrid, those types of things, really figuring out some practical ways to make this work. And I think, like you were talking about, Corey, really just finding those innovative ways to collaborate and to connect during this time that it's difficult to do so, right? And it's hard to find some easy ways to make that happen. I think a lot of our districts have done a great job of focusing on that collaboration piece and communication piece, understanding that our students still need their educators so much during this time. I think that's been very cool to see and awesome to watch as that's kind of played out before us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other silver lining that we've seen is just amazing educators in general, just jumping in and doing what was needed for kids, whether that be their kids at home, whether that be the kids at school. Just the collaboration between each other has been phenomenal, reaching out for help. The number of teachers that are just utilizing social media to grab ideas and to really run with them has been amazing to see. So I think a lot of times we were wondering, how much is the message really getting out about what's available and what can be done. And I think, when they needed it, they dug into their toolbox and really are pulling out some amazing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful stuff, so it's our second week of remote learning here, and my second graders teacher tried a Zoom meeting for the first time yesterday, which was really fun to get to watch and listen to. She was not as excited about being on camera. She's my shy one, but she was really excited to see all of her other friends, and everyone's talking at once, and it was a little bit of a mess, but they're going to do that every other day moving forward, which I think is exciting because the Chromebooks, we aren't one-to-one, but they were able to provide a Chromebook to at least one to every household. And so they're able to use those. And then my son's teacher tried, and the conferencing didn't work within their LMS. The link was broken today, but they're going to try again tomorrow. However, he's been doing like Screencastify videos, and he ended up mentioning my son's name, and he was like, "Mom, you have to come listen to this," and like came back over. So just those little ways to kind of connect and participate, shout out, whether that's through video or on text with the kiddos, has been really exciting. Because as you said, Jessica, that social emotional piece is huge. We are in a historical time right now, and some people are really stricken with anxiety during all of this, and our kids are feeling that. And so I think it's really important that we have those supports for them, for sure.
I think that's just real quick. That's one of the big conversations that we've been having, is seeing the perspective that we have right now. So this being an obstacle and an opportunity. So of course it's an obstacle that none of us would have wanted to find ourselves in, but ultimately, are we able to see this as an opportunity within the educational system for our students to actually own their learning, right? And for us to put the learning in their lap, because now there's not a choice. They are at home and they're having to drive that learning. So I think that's a silver lining as well, that shift in perspective and understanding that there are so many opportunities here, and our students are making connections at home that they may never have made in the classroom. And so I think taking advantage of some of those things allow us to see the silver lining from a different perspective. We just have to be intentional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's such a great point.
It's really great to see the kind of communities kind of come together. What I've noticed on social media is a lot of the the teachers are kind of going the extra mile. We're doing little parades around our neighborhoods, and our students really miss seeing their teachers, and we're able to do that over Zoom and or whatever service we're doing. And I think it's been kind of fun to see communities kind of come together as kind of a witness to everybody's work in the industry. So are we ready for the next question, Corey?
Yeah, go ahead.
What tips do you have for the audience, to kind of help us see through all of this?
Yeah, Andy, do you want me to go first with that one?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think from the beginning, this is just one thing that kind of just popped out quickly from my mouth, and it's really our digital innovation team and really our entire Gen Ed team has really taken to heart, and that is the fact that we cannot recreate an 8-hour school day virtually. You cannot.
Right.
Honestly, you shouldn't. School, an 8-hour school day has its place and it has all of its functions. And right now, what we're doing at home is drastically different, and we have to respond to that in a different way. And we have to understand that the content that we send for our kids home and the content that we expect back from our students is not going to be the same as what we would have been able to get in the classroom. So just being aware that we cannot recreate that virtually.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a good tip for both the educators, the teachers who are creating this remote learning experience, as well as for the parents to understand, right? Like that's been the big thing for me as we've looked at how I'm kind of scheduling my homeschoolers day, which is happening in the next room right now. They're actually at the end of their day right now. I've got 2 kind of blocks, 1 to 1.5 hour blocks in the day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, but the rest of the time is time for them to be creative and kind of go out and play. We've got a recess that happens while I'm making lunch. So it is definitely not that full day, just like you said, Jessica. So I think it's a really good point for everyone I think the sooner we can grasp that as a parent, the sooner I can kind of rest easy and feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to support the educators who are trying to help the learning happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Andy makes a great point. She says, whatever you're doing is enough. And I just remember the very first day that we did remote learning. My daughter, she's a junior in high school. I'm pretty sure she rolled out of the bed at about 11:15, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
She needed that. I needed that. We all needed that loveliness. Is that the norm? No, that's not the norm. On a normal school day, she would have been in the building by 7:45, but this isn't a normal school day, and that's okay.
Yeah. I think that's such a great point, is that this is different. It's not something that any of us have experienced before, and so that whole knowing what you're doing is enough, whether you are the learner or the parent or the teacher. We're all in different places. That's one of the things I think sometimes we get asked, is there a schedule that you guys would provide, or how would you suggest, what should this look like? And our answer to that right now is there's not a check answer for this, right? I mean, every home situation is so different. I know in our home right now, we have our kids at home, and we also have my husband who is working outside of the home still. And so it's me at home working all day with my kids. Luckily, they're older and can kind of take care of themselves, but it's different than what a lot of other people are experiencing. And I think my biggest tip would be to focus on the connections that we're able to make right now. So the live video that we did on Facebook this morning for our audience was really based around games, whether it be video games or board games or puzzles. Those things that you can use at home to not only make connections to those life-ready skills, right? Collaboration, communication, creativity, critical thinking, reflection, those things, but also having a little fun. That weaves in the social emotional learning. But then thinking about how can I weave in, you think about Monopoly, the money, the opportunity to negotiate, those content skills as well. I think right now it's going to be really important that we make those connections and that we are purposeful in doing so.
Yeah, I love that. We, my mom sent over at the start of all of this business a like a large Jenga set with the big blocks, and so we did a lot of force and motion conversation, and we wore helmets because we felt it was safer. The kids had some construction worker helmets, which was pretty funny, which is good though because they fell on my 5-year-old, and so she was protected. But I mean, we've been doing that. We've got a sight word SWAT game for my preschooler, and so we've definitely stepped up the games. I think that's a great connection. I think everybody's finding themselves able to slow down just a little bit more. It's too bad it's these situations that have made this have to happen, but it is something to kind of definitely be blessed with. So I really like that idea, and definitely connecting those life ready skills with that for sure. All right. Well, ladies, this has been great. We're going to connect our audience to your Facebook page and where to find you on Twitter, the R12 Dig In team, so they can continue, because you guys are putting out great content, which is why we wanted you on the show. So thank you so much for all that you're doing down there in Region 12 and beyond. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for coming out. We'll see you. Hey, thanks for your hard work.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. All right, Brian. So we've got one shout out left for the day. So let me get my screen ready to share that one. We're kind of doing just one at a time, highlighting on some of our key individuals. Everybody's kind of getting back into the swing of things. So shout out to Frostburg State University. They are really focusing on right now. This university, most of their programs are online or mostly online, but their undergrads, they're really looking at how are they going to help those undergrads in that education department graduate when they were in the middle of student teaching or just at the beginning of their student teaching practicum, and school's out and school's probably not going to be back in. So they're looking at some really awesome. Jenny met with them just this last week and talked with them a little bit about the ways that they are using some virtual methods to support those students and get them to graduation. Great things is they've already been using some video in some classrooms, so they can continue to use that to look at instructional practices and pedagogy and have those conversations. They're using SIBME they're thinking about using it to create huddles of cohorts so those students can be connected with each other and continue to learn and grow together as they look towards graduation. So way to go, Frostburg State University.
Keep it up, Frostburg. We're going to get through this together. See you guys out there.
Yes. I love it. All right, Brian, I think you are just consumed with what's the public going to say about for your
guys,
hair?
Be nice. Be very nice.
All right. So
be nice.
This is going to be perfect. Are we going to April Fools Brian and make him go with something crazy? Or are we going to let him do something normal? My husband, I'm going to be having him cut about an inch off of mine. Cause again, I just really needed it. So,
just for all you folks out there, my roommates never cut hair before. So that's a really great option. I'm just saying, really good option. Renewals are coming up. Okay.
Be nice to Brian. All right. Well, this has been awesome. Thanks again to our Dig In team for joining us today. And Brian, it's great to see those curls coming out. I didn't realize your hair was so curly. This is nice stuff.
Yeah.
It's long though. It's getting there.
It's I feel like I'm like a kid in the 90s. When I was in middle school, my brother and I, we were big like bowl cut kind of guys, and that was the kind of thing like we thought we were skaters, like. I haven't seen my hair that long since, and I went to a military college, so I didn't even know what my hair could do. I forgot. Like
yeah.
This is crazy. It's getting bad. It's getting real
long.
Bad.
We'll have it figured out in the next 7 days. So
right,
7 days, the most votes have it. You're going to do it. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. So, all right, Brian.
Everybody,
any other news?
Have fun and stay safe out there, please. And look forward to seeing you back for another What's Up Wednesday next week.
See you guys soon.